Happy early new year. Can't say it tonight, so I'll say it now. Um, what a year it's been overall for the channel, for Tesla, hopefully for you and your loved ones as well. Tesla's sitting at 1,061 currently as we stream. It's the last stream of the year, and it's pretty crazy to say that, to be honest. What a wild ride it's been. The first live stream, if you don't know, on this channel was S&P inclusion. So December 18th, 2020, right? December 18th, 2020. How's it going? Let me know in the chat if my audio is coming in clear. Hopefully, I'm not just spieling to myself. The Strange, how's it going? Stefan, Victoria, Happy New Year to you too. Sanju, Tesla Hype, John, David. John says hit that like button, appreciate it. Kev, how's it going? Stefan says didn't see much window dressing this week. Am I wrong? Yeah, not this week. You're right. Last week, I guess, is kind of where all the window dressing must have been done. Because if you look at the weekly graph, obviously last week we jumped up from 903 to 1,063. So Victoria says perfect. Tesla Hype as well. Appreciate it. Jan says 2020. Yeah, Tesla. We're moving into 2022. What's crazy to say, I just saw on our Discord as well. Shout out to all the Patreon and channel members on supporting this channel. RS on our Discord posted looking to be about a 46% performance for Tesla in fiscal year 2021. Thanks for calculating that. 46%. I mean, it's definitely felt it's definitely felt at times not that high, of course, and sometimes way higher as we went up to $1,250. I see everyone tuning in from the chat. Awesome. Hey, why don't you guys let me know where you guys are tuning in from? I see some of you guys are doing that already. Chicago, South Carolina, California, Kentucky. Happy New Year. I appreciate it. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Yes, we got a lot of news to cover on this stream. Okay. A couple breaking news pieces out today, this morning. One about China, one about Texas. Super excited to share it. Quick. Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace, Betty White. I just heard about that as well. Dubai, ATL, Cleveland, Ottawa, Texas, Northern Ireland, Vancouver, Washington. You're pretty much a Canadian, I'd say at that point, Victoria. Next week will be awesome, Victoria says. Giga Texas in production mode. And that brings us to our first piece of news for the day. 1,062 as we go into some news for the day. Whoops, hold on 1 second. Joe Tegmeyer on Twitter, who is the known Giga Texas or Giga Austin expert with drone footage and inside baseball, what's happening, tweeted today saying breaking. By the way, he didn't put breaking in all caps, so I'm not sure if this counts. A bit of news. I've just heard today at the site, actual production for Giga Texas starts next week. They're driving finished cars inside of the factory already, and several completed cars are already at testing sites out of state, getting crash and other testing completed. That's huge. That's huge. One thing I was thinking about with this was the interesting part with electric vehicles, obviously, is that you can pretty much drive them inside, indoors, not really worry about carbon monoxide and emissions, and just kind of keep it low key. So all these analysts that might be looking for a lot of outside vehicles might not be seeing them and thinking, well, obviously production's not here yet. Not sure if that's the case. 1064 is sitting on Tesla as well. Where's my ticker? Hold on. Where's my Tesla ticker? 1 second. All right. I'll fix that in a bit here. I like to have my Tesla ticker up. That's huge. That's huge. Victoria, BC, Thailand. Basil, how's it going? Montreal, Netherlands, Montreal, New Mexico, Hamburg, Germany. Wow, we got people everywhere. Everywhere. Fire Island, New York. Synonymous says, yeah, I should get Ross Gerber on for some questions if you can sometime. Sure. If you wanna, if again, I appreciate it, but I'm hashtag team no clout. So if the Juju Gang wants to help me get people on, I think the best way is to tweet at them, tag me in it as well. I'll piggyback off of it and show them that there's real demand out there for them to come on the channel versus me just coming on kind of a nobody, right? J-Lot says, stock up $2 since the Ashes are broadcasting. Okay, so that's the first piece of news here. The second piece of news is straight from Tesla China analyst at Tesla Shanghai, who we were waiting for a surprise this morning. And I kind of got it. Tesla China has sold 70.5 thousand. Apparently, this is rumored, I should add. 70,500 vehicles in December. Now, this is probably almost all domestic sales, right? In the last month of the year, last month of every quarter, Tesla China doesn't really export that much. That's huge. And what's also huge is I retweeted this yesterday. Let me try to see if I can pull it up here. We got an alert, or we got a tweet here for 42 How. Breaking: Tesla China increases prices of Model 3 by 10,000 yen, or one, pardon me, and the Model Y by 21,000. That's about $3,000 US, I think is what it is. And really, that's huge. And also, anyone that, first of all, if anyone worried about demand problems, why would Tesla increase prices? But number two, the delivery time has changed from end of the quarter to, if you order now, you're probably not going to get it till the second quarter of 2022. That's huge. So if you want to talk about demand issues, I don't think they're there at this point. Tesla's sitting at $1,063. We're gonna play our usual guessing game at 12:45, but it's a slower, sluggish day, as Great American is saying in the chat. Um, Volume is just so subdued today, right? What 10.65 million shares traded in the day, not too hot. But again, that's just the name of the game. The Nasdaq, oh, the Nasdaq's popping here. Nasdaq sitting at 22, or the Qs, I should say, the ETF sitting at 22 million shares traded for the day, very low. SPY ETF only sitting at 30 million shares traded for the day, and we're an hour in, or hour to go for the day. Average is about 65, I think 70 million shares traded on SPY, so lower volume. Julio says, I think you and Ross would make a great stream. Let's all hit up Ross. Appreciate it, Julio. Thank you. Uh, I'm getting a lot of this. Mr. Drizzle says 70K is bonkers, as they've already drained inventory in the production. Last month was 62. Either they've found cars or they've excelled at production. It never ceases to amaze me how in tune, how awesome China production is, Chinese manufacturing is. It's amazing. It's incredible. The team at Tesla China should be applauded for how awesomely they're ramping and they're bringing this to scale. And there's more to come. That's the best part. 1064 on Tesla, and the video. Tim says the video from China delivery center is absolutely insane. So many cars. I'm gonna try to pull that up if I can here. Someone wants to tag me on Twitter or something. Much appreciated. And I can pull that up. Are there after hours trading today? Says Vincent. There should be. There might be a shorter after hours, but I think there is. Yeah, I think there is. Uh, J-Lot says, Yash, what's your prediction for production delivery on Sunday? Okay, so moving on to Catalyst. Great segue there. This Sunday, probably latest by Monday pre-market, I think, we'll get the production delivery numbers for Tesla fourth quarter of this year. It's looking increasingly so that there is a pretty good chance, adding probabilities twice there. Let me just say, looks like there's a decent shot that Tesla produces and delivers. I guess that depends, but produces at least 300,000 vehicles in fourth quarter. Huge, huge. Um, let me pull up. Let me just see here. I'm gonna pull up Rob Maurer. You guys know I love Rob and his estimates. Let me see if he's tweeted it out on his video. He had a video last night. That's not on Twitter. Let me just go to Troy. Actually, no. You know what? Gary Black's probably consolidated all this data together for us. Another person that I messaged or I tweeted at to come on, and no reply. So the Juju Gang might need to help me on that as well. Okay. Gary says there's a good chance Tesla fourth quarter production is greater than 300,000 vehicle. Folks, just pause for a second, right? Just okay. Julio says Rob says 294, and that was before the 70K. I'd imagine he'd probably be closer to 300,000 now. Rob would be, not putting words in his mouth, it's just my guess. Let's just pause for a second. 300,000 vehicles produced in one quarter. Let's not forget, fiscal year 2020, Tesla produced 500,000 vehicles, actually 499,994 or something like that, right? Five or six short of 500K. Who cares? We're looking at a quarter right now where Tesla is literally about to do 60% of its 2020 production in one quarter. In one quarter. Huge. Right? Like that should give us pause for, and yes, the reason why it should give us pause is quite literally the two new factories that we all thought would be up and running by now are not up and running. That's why it's huge, right? The S curve, right? Exactly. And yeah, Victoria beat me to the punch with chip and supply chain issues as well. Yes, 2020 had COVID and we had the shutdowns for the factories for a couple of weeks. Yes, we did for sure. But to say this year was not supposed to be this high is an understatement if you ask Wall Street. Huge. Next year, you look at Dan Ives. Dan Ives is kind of being outspoken on this point and saying in the first half of 2020, we'll start seeing a massive easing off of chip issues. And if that's true, really, and cross my fingers that there's no other shutdowns or anything like that, macro or force majeure kind of stuff. Uh, and Austin and Berlin are going to come online. That is huge, huge, huge. Um, Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. And okay, so let me just finish this. I haven't even finished reading the tweet. I got too excited. Which would be excellent, Gary says, because it would suggest 2022 production of 1.5 with 150K each from Austin and Berlin. If fourth quarter production somehow gets to 309,508, the fiscal year 2021 production will be equal to the infamous 934,091. I find I like, we were having this discussion on Discord today with the Juju gang, and we were saying, was Gary like slightly pissed off as he was tweeting this out? Like, man, damn it, there it is again, Um, if we hit 1 million for 2020, that'd be a massive catalyst. Well, I don't think that puts us to a million. Hold on, I can do some quick math here. What do we send? No, this graph doesn't do me any justice. Thanks, Tim, for sending me what to search up. I don't see it here. Let's see here. Tesla Q. Oh, this one. Okay. You know what? There might be music on this. I'm just gonna make sure that there's nothing here. So this is whose channel is this? I want to make sure I give them credit. I don't think this is. Oh yeah, so here are all the cars sitting in the lots and massive. It's crazy how big these factories are, right? Like just nuts. Absolutely nuts. Let's go back to Weeble. 1063 sitting on Tesla. Uh Ryan says it seems like we're all too optimistic though, because the market knows all this stuff too, and they've just been kind of selling off the past 2 months. Uh Kind of startling. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but let's look at the last 2 months, right? I think it's important to realize right now we've come a long way from December 20th. We're sitting only 10 days off of not even 10 business days off of that. And quite literally on December 20th, we were sitting at 891, right? Well, we hit a low of 891, let's say. 886 to be exact on the 21st of December. Yes, there was Elon selling in between here, but if I draw a trend line real quick from the lows of December 21st, which is 4 days before our Christmas Eve stream that we did, feels like yesterday. We are. Oh, whoops, hold on. Why doesn't it give me the percentage when I highlight here? We're sitting up 26%, right? Or we were sitting up 26% as of the 27th. Today, we're sitting up 21% still from 2 or 3 days before Christmas Eve. So I don't consider it much of a surprise that we're retracing back into what's the 50 moving average. 50 moving average is sitting at 1,060, pretty much. And reloading, perhaps. Obviously, I would not like to see us break the 50 moving average and ideally not even close closely to that 50 moving average. But that 50 moving average is there as some sort of a demand test, if you want to call it, back tracing into that level. And so if you're looking for additional demand, that's a pretty good zone. Now, should we close today way below this? Different story, different narrative to have. As we sit here currently, and we have about 50 minutes to close, 1,064 is where we're sitting at. So, let me just pull this up. There we go. So next week, and actually, I didn't even get to the point I wanted to get to was the difference between street estimates, Whisper, and what kind of Tesla Twitter analysts are projecting. Let me just see here. Gary tweeted this out today. A fourth quarter deliveries of 290,000 plus would represent a significant beat, versus the 266,000 street consensus, and also versus the what is the whisper at 280. Tesla fourth quarter deliveries will be posted Sunday and likely lead to analysts sharply raising both fourth quarter earnings per share and next year's volumes. That is huge, folks. Like, you talk about earnings per share, like that is the holy grail of what we're trying to figure out is what's Tesla's earning per share going to be? That's literally it. And we're trying to figure that out in perpetuity. So it's huge. Yeah, I, I definitely feel that, Ryan, for sure. For sure. Um, let's see here. Victoria says, give it a few weeks in 2022, the market will move on. Well, I don't want to get our hopes up, but, and history does not always follow with what has happened before, or the future doesn't follow history. But let me know in the chat. Chat, let me know. You guys remember how the beginning of 2020 felt, right? In January. Now, I think there's some different circumstances potentially here, but in the beginning of 2020, from literally January the 4th, which is what we traded on, or let's do the end of the 31st, to the highs that we had in the end of January, we went up 30%. And that was on the backs. S&P collusion had already happened at that point. I think this was on the backs of a lot of fund buying that was happening, tracking funds trying to come equal weight on Tesla. Um, and I just think a lot of funds were thinking, screw it. Like, well, I think it's time to buy Tesla now. So who knows? Here's what we do know. I guess history or stats might tell us is if we check out if we check out monthly seasonality on our Tradie Ticks info. Let me try to make it way bigger for y'all. January has the second highest win rate for Tesla stock, second to June, as per this seasonality chart. So we have about a 72.73% win rate in January for Tesla. So meaning 72% of the time, January's finished green for Tesla. December is, remember, we said this towards the end of November, is December is a kind of a 50-50 mix. November's were quite strong, and that kind of held to be true, especially if you look at November. Let's look at the monthly November candle. Oh, wow. Sometimes it's just nuts. November was nuts, right? Or was that October? Actually, let me pull up the weekly. Oh, yeah, most of our move was, November was, the first week of November was pretty decent. But yeah, it was the last week, it looks like, of October. Actually, is that true? Hold on. I don't know if that's true. Oh, yeah, it was last week, October, but then November was pretty strong as well. The move from 1126 all the way to 1250. So January's looking, I mean, at least numbers wise, it is what it is. Tim says, crazy to think this year was mostly without X production. For sure. I don't know how much that will feed into production numbers, but you're right with average selling price. Like that's huge. The X has a significant tick up into average. Best Trader says, yeah, your trade ticks is showing massive 2400 strike puts were bought in the last few days. If they're 2400 strike, and I could pull that up, if they're 2400 strike, I think it's important to remember those are in the money puts, right? Trading Ticks, this is what Trading Ticks is showing me on the algo. Trading Ticks' algo, you guys know, we like looking at it. It wasn't too positive yesterday. Today, it's sitting up quite nicely. Kind of moving target on Trading Ticks algo right now is, what is this, 1074? 1074-ish. So, $10 on the upside, not massive. On the 30 minutes, let's check this out. Get more of a broader level on it. Yeah, on a broader level, not looking too hot as well. We had a sharp decline in algo flow this morning, which we're kind of coming back up from, but not looking hugely bullish there. Let's see here. Let me try to see the strikes that you're talking about. So Trader Ticks is showing, 2,400 strike puts, 2 orders. Okay, so I like to look at order size as well. Best Trader order size, I think, matters. Anything over 10 is what they say has a decent insight. Anything over 25 is huge. So I look at this 82 level or 82 orders for 6.5 million, and then I kind of almost give this more credence than the 2 orders at 28. These are also in the money, right? So if they're in the money, yeah, and they're expiring 2024 exactly. So that's maybe a huge hedge, some sort of gamma. I don't know what these people are up to. I don't know if this is entirely directional or maybe just hedging. Who knows? But if these were like, for example, 300 strike puts for middle of January, 300 strike, like far out the money, just making this stuff up. 300 strike puts, far out the money, 2 weeks expiration, and they came in like 25 plus orders. And on top of that, it was like $10 million worth of premium. All right, you kind of got my attention now. These things are just expensive on its own as well, right? So on the flip side, nothing massive in terms of call order size. There's some 33 orders here on the 1060. 1080 has 82 orders. Actually, if you check this out, that 82 order size here is a 1070 put, matches almost directly with this 1080 here. So this is probably some sort of spread going on here. So Adam says, "Will inflation affect Juju consumption?" You're asking the right questions here, Adam, and I'll have to get back to you on that. I'll have to consult Kathy Wood on the Juju consumption with regards to correlation into inflation. It is an important discussion. I'm not trying to get away from the answer. It is important, right? But TBD. Let's see here. Today I consider today right now as we sit here flat. I mean, yes, we're down $7. You could say we're right on the day, but just the volume is so low, right? We're not even at 11 million shares traded, and we're in power hour at the moment. It's just, and if you pull up the daily, we haven't had well, this low volume day. Last time we had this was, let me see, end of November, on November 26th. So it's been a hot second since then. Yeah. Yeah, Kathy Wood has been taking a lot of heat lately with regards to her, strategy and her fund and her ETF and the way that they balance daily and all this stuff. Who knows? I guess we'll see. Um, up. Oh, you know what? Let me just check if I. So we have 40 minutes to close. CNBC is currently talking about the antiviral pill, so that's good. Good for them. Nothing Tesla related at the moment. Just gonna check to see. I just realized because I had a few positions. Um, Settlement day it's 3 days, right? For tax loss harvesting, you have to sell. You have to have sold by, was it the 29th? Does anyone know the 29th or something? You had to have sold if you wanted a tax loss harvest. A couple positions I sold today. I was like, damn, forgot to close those out. I could be wrong. Maybe settlement here in Canada is different, but yeah. Oh, Julio says, speaking of getting away from the answer, did you give your fourth quarter production delivery prediction? No, I didn't. Actually, I got totally off track. I'm gonna say, and listen, I don't, I don't pretend to calculate and look through registration data. I know there's a lot of people that like just put together these numbers. Mine is solely a prediction. I always say it's just a prediction. It's not behind any real analysis of registration data or anything like that. I'm gonna throw out a number, and if Rob's at 300K, I'm gonna go 305. I'm gonna go 305. Well, Rob's not at 300K for the record. I think he's at 294 is what you guys are saying. But if you ups it a little bit, I'm gonna go 305. I'm gonna go 305. Much love, Jupiter. Appreciate it. 305. You guys can let me know in the chat what you guys think as well for production and delivery. Actually, no, for production because that should be higher, right? Production should be higher this quarter. By the way, the question I have is if Tesla produces any cars in Austin and Berlin, let's say they're just test production. Do those get counted into production if they're eventually going to be sold one day? Hmm, probably not. But Jan says Kathy says that consumers have already loaded up on Juju and retail warehouses are full. You know, I could have told her that. I don't know why she doesn't ask me for the Juju insight. Whatever, it's fine. Um, but I'll tell you, like it's hard to come across Juju right now. It's snowing outside. Yesterday it was. It's a white Christmas here, folks. It's hard to get around town. Yay, saying 420,000 cars produced. 275. Okay, create your worth's coming in a little bit lower than what Tesla analysts are saying. Fair enough. Austin is now delay. Hearing from my sources in Texas, Luis says. I don't know if you're being tongue in cheek there. 290 says Surya. 297 says Victoria. Test production for anything less than 300 for one factory, I think. Okay, gotcha. What's CNBC talk about? I don't think they talk about very much. There it is. They're talking about the Dow. Jupiter says, is December considered a strong month? Because if you analyze December China numbers, you get to over 800K. I would not personally annualize the December China number. For one, Q4 is always historically higher. Consumers like to spend in the last quarter of the year. Consumers buy cars for some reason way more in the fourth quarter of the year, whether it's for tax purposes or they wait until the end of the year, whatever it might be, or companies are motivated to pump out as many at the end for their fourth quarter push. So I would not annualize December China. No, I would not. STC says 500 people watching and 100 likes. Appreciate the 100 people that have liked the chat. If anyone is enjoying the content, hit subscribe, hit like. I appreciate you guys. How many likes are we at? I got a live count here. 101. That one person that liked it while I was talking. Thank you. 106. Folks, thank you. Much love. There we go. I'm going to keep the counter up here as we it's a vanity. Likes are vanity metrics. Subscriptions are as well. Do whatever you want. But if you like the content, consider joining the family. Hedgie says Berlin will be delayed until forever. It definitely feels that way. I get it. 140 likes. It definitely feels that way. Um, the frustration a little bit, but this too shall pass. This too shall pass. Appreciate it. Strange. The strange cage. The like rally. Yes, absolutely. AR says, where will the next gigafactory be? Taylor from Houston. Taylor, let me know. Okay, chat, let me know where you guys think the next gigafactory is. I know Elon has said 2023. They're not even going to think about it until then, really. I don't know if Berlin, then you got Austin, you got Fremont. I'm selfish. I'm a little bit biased as well, but I think there should be a gigafactory in Canada. There's the old legacy area in Ontario where there's a lot of old factories. We have skilled labor here. The currency exchange is highly in Tesla's favor here to hire skilled labor. I think Tesla for the Eastern seaboard. Austin is probably more than enough for the time being, but I guess they're already doing battery manufacturing here. Oklahoma, well, there's that, Tesla wanted to do it in Tulsa. Antarctic, says Kate. Kate, you're onto something there. India, yeah, perhaps. I think Tesla does have a presence now in India. And you know what? The Indian government may pressure Tesla to invest way more in their country before they allow them importing cars without fees. So potentially you're onto something there. Best Trader says, yeah, sure. You buying Palantir? No, not at the moment. Maybe in Jan. We'll see. Lewis says, Candle will be the last. Sorry, Juju Fremont is there for you. Yeah, Fremont's way closer to me anyways than Ontario or something would be. I just think the exchange rate here is it's massively, like there's so many tech companies that are moving up here. And as we rally here a little bit, folks, 1064 sitting on Tesla. There's just so many tech companies that move up to Vancouver, Toronto because of the exchange rate. It's just massively in favor. Let's see. Central Park, yeah. Imagine getting that real estate. Brazil, okay. You're onto something there. Hey, maybe Brazil, South America could work for the $25,000 vehicle. Yeah, maybe. Stefan says Windsor, Detroit. Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Suriname. That's a guess. Nice one. XPR, I don't know. I don't know what that would do to options pricing, so who knows? I think a lot of people, Jay Lutz is saying, I think a lot of people forgot that Elon messaged saying that they're not going to be chasing end of quarters delivery no more. Jay Lutz, you're right. But when Elon sent that email out saying that they're not going to be focusing on deliveries as much as cost effectiveness, I think it's important to realize that came before the tax credit bill got zilched, right? And now that we have, now we that we do not have consumers pushing deliveries into January and February just to get that tax credit. I think now, I could be wrong. I think now there is a degree of let's push quarter end deliveries, because I think that might have been in the backs of like, okay, well, people are pushing out deliveries. If we know that's going to be the case, let's just take it easy and let's not last minute. Last minute shipping costs are just nuts, right? So yes, we'll talk about the Elon's recession guess as well in a second. S Trader says, I feel a massive squeeze coming in Tesla in the last 30 minutes. Well, let's do it. Let's do it. BC Hydro. Oh, talking my language. Argentina, Finland. Okay. Tesla, CNBC talking. They're talking oil is what I see right now. Philippines, that'd be something. Okay. So Aaron says 1 year since we first live streamed. Congrats on the channel. Since Yeah, shout out to you, Aaron. Yes, Aaron was Aaron. If my memory serves correct, I think you were the first person to leave a comment on one of my really early on videos and say, "Yo, you should go live." And I'm like, I should go live. And here we are, sitting a year later with 17 some odd thousand people on the channel, in the Juju gang, and enjoying our times together. You know what I love about these live streams? Tesla can do whatever it wants to do. That's, just is what it is. We don't have any control on that. But to be able to sit down together, have a good time, chat with people that are like minded like us, want to talk Tesla, want to talk news that's breaking, it's just a fun time. I'm glad I found the Juju Gang. Really, I mean, it's awesome. Appreciate it, Aaron. Thank you. Aaron says, "Glad to see your head hasn't gotten too big." I don't. Yeah. Oh, hold on. We just got a tweet. Oh, okay. This is Tesla China. I have Tesla China analyst subscription on. I was gonna pull up something. Now I forget. Let me pull up my Chrome and see if I remember. Well, these are the price simulations. These are the algo flow currently for Tesla. Dark pool sentiment. What was I gonna pull up? I think some of you guys tagged me something on Twitter. Maybe saying, you're a Tesla nerd when you spend New Year's Eve following Yash on YouTube. Appreciate it, Mimi. Thank you. Um, Hold up. I was gonna pull up something. Now I forget. Oh, Elon, and his recession tweets. If you don't know, yesterday Elon replied to some. Let me just pull it up. Was it this epic thread right here? I think it was actually. So, if history is any guide, many of the startups will not make it past the recession, Elon says. Someone asks. Zach says, when do you think the next recession will be? Elon says, predicting macroeconomics is challenging, to say the least. My gut feel is maybe around spring or summer 2022, but not later than 2023. Listen, you guys know how I feel about doom and gloom fear mongers. What I will say is at least he is putting a cap on his guess. One of the things I hate about perma bears is that they'll literally give you no timeline. Like they'll say a crash is happening, but they'll continue to say that, but they won't put their neck out and say by what date. They'll be wrong if it doesn't happen. Elon is saying by not later than 2023. Now, if we are taking this into consideration, I think it's important to multiply this by a 5 to get Elon time. So if Elon's saying 3 months from now, spring of 2022, I think you multiply by 5 and you get to about 15 months. Now, if you take 2023, it's about a year now. If you multiply by 5, that gets us about 5 years down the road. So discount for Elon time however you want. Now, yeah, Dave is asking a good question. Really hard to predict timing of the next recession. What makes you think a recession is imminent? In my opinion, I think what Elon is getting at is the rate hikes. He's almost certainly taking a look at the fact that the Fed is going to be increasing overnight rates. The rates are going to have to be increased if inflation continues to be rampant. And yes, tapering will begin. If tapering eases inflation, not sure if it will, then we might not see massive rate hikes. But I think it's important to realize that I think a lot of this gas probably has to do with inflation. Um, Kathy Wood, though, had a pretty interesting tweet, or a Twitter thread. Today, we learned that in November, retail inventories rose more than 2%, the fastest pace since the 90s, while imports jumped 5% and exports dropped 2. Moreover, real consumption, including services, was flat, and the savings rate dropped to 6.9%. Nice. As measured by the University of Michigan, which she believes is the best, or is it? Um, Sentiment during November and December dropped to a level last seen at the worst of the corona crisis in 2020. In this context, the percent changes listed above make sense. And we get to a conclusion here. In our view, Kathy Wood says, fears of inflation will give way to confusion and fears of recession, aka what Elon's talking about, during the next 3 to 6 months. If so, the rapid growth rates of truly innovative companies, she probably is talking Tesla, Genomics, Robinhood, many of their equities maligned this year, Teladoc, many of their equities maligned this year should be rewarded handsomely. She actually liked a tweet that I think summarized this quite well. It's someone who replied to that Twitter thread and said, quote, "It's like the dot-com crash, except this time the dot-com companies win and value stocks crash. History may not repeat, but it rhymes." She liked this tweet, probably signaling that it's surmising what she's saying pretty well. So take that with what you want. I think there's a degree of of caution going around in the markets, especially with tapering and potentially rate hikes. In my opinion, and I'm no professional economist, although I did study economics in university. Um, I'm not sure if this economy can handle rate hikes. So we're gonna hope that tapering, perhaps technological disruption in the next 3 months, something really eases inflation in the next 3 months. I'm just not sure. And Canada's a little bit different, albeit, but yeah, 1062 sitting on Tesla. Yeah, maybe it says you can always say a crash is happening because sometime it will. Absolutely, that's my number one gripe. If you're gonna say there's a crash, fair enough. Give me a timeline as to when you think. I'm of the belief you know I'm a perma bull in long term perpetuity. I think that's probably fair to assume of me, I guess. Given longer term time horizons, I think most it's like betting on the country, betting on the economy. I think in the long run, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, perma bull. We can have short term cycles in that for sure. But believe it or not, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that think in the next 10, 15, 20 years, the economy is going to be worse off than it is now. Just don't see that happening. As you says, Tesla's recession proof pretty much. Not worried about the stock in that perspective. I think it's important to have the context a little bit of Tesla that Tesla is a high PE growth name, or at least it trades as such. So, should there be rate hikes, a lot of the future cash flows may be discounted in the short term. I think we saw that to a degree, right? With Corona, almost everything fell off of Corona. The thing with Tesla is going to be different, in my opinion, in 2022 than it was in 2021 is when these two new age factories come online, Austin and Berlin, and Tesla Shanghai comes to full capacity. At a certain point, like earnings per share will do all the talking. It's no longer, well, look at what we're projecting for execution. It will literally just be, execution after execution. And that's kind of the hope of 2022 and how it's different. Whereas, this year, I think a lot of analysts in 2020 predicted Berlin to be online already, middle of this year, September of this year, and to be producing something. And so when that didn't happen, we saw kind of a lull. When it looked like all of a sudden it was about to happen again, mixed with the EV credit in end of October, beginning of November, we saw that big influx of investment back into Tesla and that rise from what was it? That recent rise from $850. What was it? I think I was live streaming on the 22nd of October, right, with Bradford Ferguson from Halter Ferguson Financial, and we were doing that market makers live stream, and we closed at 9:11 or something, and everyone on the chat was saying, "Bring Bradford on every day, like he's bringing on all this good juju," and I was like, "I love it," and I thought that was pretty high. And the next Monday, we went up to $1 trillion for the first time, 1,000 for the first time. I live streamed that live. So, it's not been a long time since then, but up until that day, Tesla performance year to date was looking kind of shaky. So make it close green. Okay, let's do it. 1,061 sitting on Tesla. Um, Julio says, Yash, I have a January 14th, 1,050 call. Would you close before Monday? Tesla always drops after P&D, not looking for financial advice. Well, we definitely don't give any financial advice. Tesla dropping here, 1,059. New low of day currently sitting on Tesla. Um, Julio, I don't know, but I think it's not fair to say that Tesla always drops after production delivery. I'm going to pull up, if my memory serves correct, maybe it doesn't, but I'm going to pull up January, the first day of trading um, after production deliveries at the end of 2020. So hold on. So right around, well, I'm getting my years mixed up at this point. So pull this up. Okay, right here. December 31st was the weekend for Tesla, or the Friday, right? Tesla closed at last year, right? That $706 is what Tesla closed at. We got numbers on that weekend. I remember making a video. I didn't go live. I made a video that Tesla had pretty much hit 500,000 cars for 2020. And the next morning, the Monday, I think the numbers came out on a Sunday. The next morning, we shot up to $743. So from 704 to 743 on that good news. A 3-day rule, I guess, applied to that, and we saw Tesla climb all the way up to $881 within that 5 business days after. So I don't think it's fair to say Tesla always falls after production delivery. I think what we saw in 2020 was an upping of earnings per share estimates and volumes for 2021. And then earnings came out on the 27th of Jan of this year, and they didn't come out as expected. I think I think Tesla missed on EPS, and then volume came back down. Corona, or pardon me, yields started going back up. What was it back then? Yeah, TNX. Everyone, look at the yields. Look at the yields. Look at this and whatever's happening. So not saying history is going to repeat itself here. But there's definitely a possibility, especially to the year end. Especially to the year end. So, all what I'll say is I have I bought today a lotto, a January 14th, 1250 out the money. I'm down on it right now, but it's currently trading at 660. It's a 1250 lotto for January 14th. So it's way further out the money than yours. So, you know, I guess we'll see. Again, I'm buying it as a lotto, but I'm probably looking to sell that thing by the end of next week. I probably don't want to hold it into next week. And actually, if you guys remember in my Quest trade, I forgot about that. Don't even trade in that. Um, I bought. I'm bag holding on this one. You guys know the 1250 position for next week expiration. I'm gonna pull that up here. Those things were trading like crazy. Those things were 1250s for next week. I'm gonna pull them up. Such a dumb move. I bought these the 1250s right here. I bought these. They're sitting at $2 right now, right? I bought these as a lotto 2.5, 3 weeks ago for $14 or something. They traded as high as like 17 or something. I was like, whatever. I put in an order to sell, but since I don't use this platform, I really didn't pay attention. I forgot, didn't get filled. It was good to close, or it wasn't good to close. It was end of day, blah. Then it came back down to 2. If you guys remember, we went down to 880, 896 on Tesla, and then it went back up to 12, and now they're at 2. Now they're at 2 again. So I'm probably at this point. There's no probably point of me closing these. Just hold it to the end. Let's see if we don't get a rise next week. That's kind of where I'm sitting at the moment. So not a great move. When's earnings? Says Arnold. Earnings should be third quarter of January, maybe last or third quarter of January. It's been a long week. It really hasn't. Third week of January, likely. Maybe last week of Jan. Kind of the going guess at the moment. Great American says, wonder how many viewers will be on the stream when Tesla breaks through 1250. Hope a lot. Okay, in a couple more minutes. Actually, let's just do it now. Leave your Tesla closing price guesses. 1,060 and 21 cents current price on Tesla. We'll keep guesses open for a couple minutes here. Closing price guesses. Remember, price is right rules. You can't be over the price that it closes at. Leave your guesses in the chat to the penny. To the penny. Prize is virtual good juju from me. All right, there we go. 1,057 says Peter. Yeah, you guys are playing the downside today. I can feel it. Sanju's coming in hot with 1,069.69. I like it. I'm gonna guess. Maybe actually, I'm gonna leave my comment in the chat this time around. I'm gonna guess as well. And just for context, for everyone has the information. Volume weighted average price is currently sitting at 168.95. I'm gonna guess 1,000. I'm gonna put it in the chat. 1,069 and 42 cents. Hopefully, I didn't steal someone's guess. If I stole someone's guess and it ends up being right somehow, I'll forfeit. Oh, Mr. Monk, I stole your guess. There we go. Okay, if it hits that, Mr. Monk, you can win it. I'm not gonna give virtual juju to myself. There we go. Oh, T Mac coming in $5 lower. Okay, I see how it is. Ferdinand, how's it going? 2022. Um, if two people will win, I'm gonna have to get my juju up, my juju game up a little bit, and just send twice as many virtual jujus. It's just as simple as that. How far are we from all time highs? Well, let's do a quick calculation. We are currently sitting at 1,060, and from 1,060, we are approximately 17% away from all time highs. 17% away from all time highs. So, and we last hit all time highs 57 days ago at this point. That's crazy. 57, is that right? 2 months ago? Yeah, that's right. November was literally 2 months ago. That's nuts. That's nuts. Giving virtual judo to yourself does not grow hair on your palms. I won't. I said I won't. If I win, I won't. Virtual juju is limitless. No one needs to know that. This is a very scarce resource. On top of that, it's very expensive now with inflation. Juju is. So keep that in mind. 1,066 sitting on Tesla. There we go. Let me pull up the Q. So SPY is pretty much flat on the day. We are rising up a little bit here, but we're flat on the day for the SPY. The Q's also 37 basis points down on the day. CNBC really not talking about much. I wanted to pull up a video. Let me just see here. What video is it? Try to see if I can find it. Well, actually, hold on. The back of the napkin test on Tesla. Hold on 1 second. Next year, 1.5. I think in my opinion, I think 1.5 is probably too low for next year's production if Berlin and Austin come online pretty fast. Just a 50% growth rate past 900 is about 1.35. So I guess Wall Street would probably be close to that. But again, 2 new factories are coming in. So no. Rob says, Yash, window dressing. Nah, yeah, it looks like last week was all the window dressing there was. Looks like this week, pretty much people went to the Hamptons and didn't come back. Volume is very low today, 11.6 million shares. 1.35 is 50% growth rate, right? So if we change this to, remember, this year, Tesla's going to do over an 80%, likely over an 80% year over year growth rate in deliveries. Let's say they do a 70%. Somehow they do less than what they did this year with no new factories. That gets us to 1.5 pretty easily. If we say Tesla does a 90%, so they do 10% higher than what they did, or 5% higher than what they did this year for growth year over year deliveries with two new factories, that's at 1.7. 1.7. Um, so again, but I'm still conservative in the 2025. Let's say if we just annualize 50% growth rate to 2025, that's about 4.5 million cars, right? 4.5, 4.5 to add 2025. And if we discounted that back and we just went that back, and again, these are all assumptions. You might not have these assumptions. You might have way higher assumptions. You might have way lower assumptions. We can debate the variables. That gets 4.5 million vehicles in 2025. At an average selling price of 50K and a 20% margin. Again, operating margin last quarter was 14.4 without 4680 battery cell production, without new age factories, without gigacastings. That's about 45 billion in profit in 2025. In 2025, that's a market cap of 2.25. Discounting that back, I think at 7%, that gets us to about 1600 a share. So this when I made this, Tesla was trading at 960, or when I updated this. You know what's funny? I'm not kidding you. I found a spreadsheet that I had made for or for analyzing Tesla in 2017 that I made. I'm not even lying. 2017. That was the last edit I made on this spreadsheet. 2017, I think it was like January or something. It was something absurdly long ago. And I was looking at because back then I loved doing spreadsheets, messing around with valuations, trying to pretend like I knew what I was talking about in 2017. Okay. I think I was taking some finance classes in uni back then. Was feeling hot and spicy. In 2017, and I looked at what I had made, and I was like, I was just cringing so hard. I was cringing so hard. I was looking at that. Oh man. Richard says 2022 Juju meetup, LA, coordinated with the LA Auto Show. Well, the Juju Gang in Discord is, and I'm not sure what the status on this is. I think Anne is kind of running the show a little bit on this. Is apparently May, people are planning a Juju Napa trip. Okay, they're a Juju Napa trip. Tesla coming back down 1058, sitting on Tesla. A Juju Napa trip. So I'm not sure what the status on that is. I was kind of hoping Austin would kind of coincide with that Juju Gang meetup, but yeah, maybe says show us. I feel cringeworthy looking at it. May Napa. Uh, where is it? And I haven't edited anything on this since 2017 January. I don't even know if I want to pull it up. It's so cringe. Oh god, hold on. Okay, I'll show you. I'll show y'all. Hold on. Let me just see here. Can I even pull it up here? Hold on. Maybe it's this one, right? Back up the napkin. That's the one I just showed here. This one. The last edit I made, let me just make this a little bit bigger. Last edit I made was quite literally January 23, 2017. I was not a Tesla outspoken Tesla bull back then. I was trying to figure out what the business was about, how the stuff was going to happen. Gigafactory question mark, Model 3 question mark. This was before the Model 3, right? Seriously, this is the most embarrassing sheet out there probably. The current price Tesla was 208. I think they had 127 million shares outstanding. The market cap, I was trying to calculate how much cash on hand, how much debt they had, and what their enterprise value was. The Model S was the only one out. I think some Roadsters. I had autonomous driving in question mark. Like, this is old, right? Industry revenue. Look at me trying to model out what the industry was doing. Ford was at 31 bill, 59 for Toyota. Just, and this was my model. Let's see how bad this was. It's just nuts. I don't even look at this, folks. I had this bar here to signal where the current timeline was. Actually, wait, what was this 2015 then? Hold on. I don't even know when this was, to be honest, but the last edit was in 2017. Nuts. Early days. Early days. I would back then I would only look at the SEC filings and by hand type everything in. I didn't want to export anything. Just wanted to look at how SG&A was doing, how our R&D was doing, trying to figure out how gross margin was, what their net cash situation was. I was basically trying to figure out how dumb I was. And the answer is pretty. So that's not to say I guess this it shows you where you come from at times, right? So it is what it is. Aaron says, "Damn, were you more like Gordon Johnson in 2017?" I don't think I wasn't outspoken one way or another. I was just trying to figure out. Oops, hit my camera. Just trying to figure out where we are going, and couldn't figure it out. To 1056, and really, I talk about this a lot. Is sitting in a Model 3 really changed the game for me. Got to thank my dad for that, forcing me to go. Yeah, Stefan, I heard about the curfew in Quebec. That sucks. That sucks. Um, Doris says, don't even look at this, but it's showing us. Yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to have some. To be honest, I was kind of curious myself to see what my price target was. I don't even think I had a price target on that. Let me see here. Did I have a price target on that? Let's see what my model did. It was a discounted cash flow model. I don't even know if I had a price target. Oh god. It's one of those cringe things, but it is what it is. It is what it is, right? Tim says props for you making fun of your old self. I guess you gotta, and like in 1 year's time, in 2 years' time, I'm gonna look back on this stuff and probably make fun of myself as well. So it is what it is. You know what? Average selling price was pretty hefty back then. It was about 80K back then. Pretty bad, pretty solid. But I guess they were only selling the Model S at that point, right? But that's so little information doesn't mean, yeah, absolutely, for sure, for sure. 1055, 57 sitting on Tesla as we sit here. Let me just delete this order. Volume, folks, is low. 12 million shares traded on the day. So really, anything that we're seeing now, it's not like it's on massive volume, albeit we are seeing some volume kicking back in. 1 minute candles having 100,000, 90,000 shares here and there. Average usually for this time of power hour is probably 200,000. So yeah, quite low. 1055. We're bleeding to end the day here. We're bleeding to end the day. Let me just pull up my positions. Just doing the weekly check on the Friday stream to make sure everything is closed that is expiring. So yeah, next week I have the 1250s. The week following I have the 1250s again. I don't know what it is with 1250 and me, but I'm hoping for a gap up Monday post good delivery news. That's kind of my game plan at the moment. Is if we get good delivery news this weekend and macros on our side, and we see a huge pop, perhaps implied volatility starts to come back in the market the same way that we saw January 2020 or January 2021. So about 12 months ago. That's kind of my move. And I'm probably the first thing I'll do is probably close that position that I have expiring next week. Wait a couple more days. Hopefully we continue to go up and then I can scale out of my January 14th. At least that's my best laid plans, but everyone's got plans until they get punched in the face. STC says recessions are a feature of capitalism. They're inevitable. They're actually good in the long run. Absolutely. I don't think enough people understand what a recession is, right? You have short-term, long-term debt cycles for sure. The definition of a recession, I'd love to, in chat, does anyone know the actual definition, the formal definition of a recession? Does anyone know it? I'd hazard that a lot of people that talk about recessions don't. Like what's a recession and what isn't, black and white to the Fed. I'll wait for chat to throw it in. Maybe says, what a depressing way to end the year. Well, 2022 can only be better. Yeah, I mean, perspective is good to have. We're still at 40%. We're still at 40%. Is anyone, Alan says minus 30%. Nope. Richard says 2 consecutive down quarters. I'll add to that in GDP. Absolutely. Robot says more than 10%. No. In economics, it's 2 quarters of negative GDP. Yes. Victoria got it as well. Devondra, you guys got it. GDP. Lots of people get it. Okay, great. Maybe there's a little bit of a delay. Awesome. It's 2 quarters of negative growth. 2 quarters, right? In GDP. That does not mean the sky is falling. All hell is going to break loose. Like someone said here on chat, it's a function of what is longer term, short term debt cycles and economics. It just is what it is. albeit we haven't had one other than Corona since 2008. And 2008 was more prominent because there was more, shenanigans going on back then with mortgage-backed assets and all this stuff. But forget about that. It's just two negative growth rates of GDP, two consecutive, right? So it can be very subtly negative as well for it to be a classic recession, right? I do find it funny, right? That a lot of people run on the recession narrative as a headline, as a super bearish, you know, thing to run with as a narrative, and I get why because it gets clicks. But I think it's important to learn what the definitions are of this. It's not. It doesn't have to be, I should say, as terrible as it sounds. Um, got 2 minutes to close here. 2 minutes to close here. 2 minutes to close, and Tesla's sitting at 1,055. We're just slowly bleeding today. Again, on no volume, pretty much whatsoever on Tesla. As we sit here, and let me just pull this up. What are the options order flows telling us here? Pull up the 1 minute, pull up the options. Trading ticks. What is trading ticks telling us on the live options order flow? There we go. All right, some calls coming in for next week. 1180 calls. Very small premium. Some calls sweep at the ask 1190, 114K. All right, folks, we're getting some call sweeps to end the day. This could look pretty decent. Okay. Some call sweeps here, 1120. And this call is probably the spread. Okay, some 1600 strike for July. Now we're seeing some put action. Okay, so I mean, folks, like we're seeing 1100 strike sweep after sweep after sweep here in the last couple of minutes. This is flows are looking pretty decent. Look at all the calls being bought at the ask. Maybe a signal to next week. 1,056 on Tesla and pretty decent volume as well, I should say. Like some of these are, what is this? I saw this one, 355K, 400K, all 1,100 for next week. Okay. I dig it. Let's see how we close. 1,056.49 sitting on Tesla. I'm looking at, at least my portfolio's position in the short term with Lottos for a gap up on Monday. That assumes good delivery numbers and earnings per share estimates going up with volume estimates going up and also macro being on our side, which may be too much to ask for. Here we go. The market is officially closed for fiscal year 2021. Congrats to everyone that's made it through. Again, if you're here, you're breathing, you're alive, you should be thankful. You should be grateful, as am I, for just being here, first of all. Now, on Tesla, we closed at 1,056.78. I'm just going to verify that that's right because Weevil sometimes has a little bit of a weird closing cross. 1,056.78. 1,056.78. Let me pull up 1,050. I'm just going to do some searching here. Ooh, Norman, 1,056.69. I think you are the closest, my friend. I think Norman wins this guess, 1,056.69. Congrats to Norman. Sending you some virtual juju your way. Good juju. Thanks for the show, Yash. Very well done. Thank you, Jay Lots. Thanks everyone for watching. Yes, absolutely. Here's the thing, right? Good times, bad times. I think it's important for us to have perspective of where we are, why we're here, and moving into the stock price from that philosophical discussion for a hot second. January 1st to where we are today. Let me just draw a quick trend line, right? What a year it's been. A quick year in review, shall we? On the charts. January started actually, let's do it on the weekly. The weekly might be easier for me to manage. Let's do it on the weekly. 52 weeks. Pull this up right over here. So the week to begin the year was this one right here. Drawing a trend line from where we're at, let's say $712 to begin the year, to where we have closed at, 1,056, right about there, let's say, is, man, Weeble, why don't you give me the percentages when I want? All right, I won't click now. 46.73%-ish up for the year on Tesla. Quite the roller coaster almost. Hitting up to $900 as our all-time high to begin with in the year, coming back down with yield fears everywhere, inflation, watch out, yields rising, and all P's being crushed. And then there was the FSD scare after crash, unfortunately, throughout the spring and summertime. And then throughout the summer, we got Berlin delayed again. And then a slow and steady rise up from the middle of May on Tesla from $560. Slow and steady, week by week, chugging along, kind of going up and up and up until what it was October the 15th. Really from when we hit $843, and then we gapped up, and then we gapped up, and we gapped up some more until we hit all-time highs of $1,243, which, for just quick context, I mean, 1,243 multiplied by 12 is 6,200 or multiplied by 5 is $6,215 pre-split, right? Considering the 5-to-1 split Tesla had, like huge gains, and then consolidating, Elon selling. When is Elon done? All the sideshow around that. And now we finished. Elon has technically finished for the year. Well, I guess he has to be done now at this point. And now we're sitting here pretty much at our 9-week moving average, 1,060, which is that. And now we're kind of in this zone of like, what's going to happen? Are Berlin and Austin going to come online soon enough in the next couple of weeks here? Are we going to see EPS estimates rising? Are we going to see volumes rising for 2022? It's an exciting time. I mean, we're still 46% up for the year. So wild ride it was. Wild ride it was. Thank you, folks. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Bill says this number was just amazing a couple months ago. Absolutely. Perspective is important to have. Lewis says, Juju, thank you. I love your streams. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys. Saskatchewan says, look at that bull flag. On the weekly, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Laurie says, I'm the second closest with it. Send the Juju prize. Awesome. Well, thanks to the 500 people that are joining here to end the year. I know it's a little bit quieter times. Happy holidays to you and yours. Hit subscribe, hit like on your way out. If you wanted to join the Juju gang and join us on our private Discord community, feel free to. No pressure. You don't have to. And I'll catch you in the next one. What a blessed year it was, not only for, I guess, Tesla, stock-wise, fundamental-wise. Hopefully, we will see more growth in 2022, of course. But personally, I mean, the channel has grown to, what are we sitting at? Pull this up. I think 17,100 something viewers or subscribers, 17,280 subscribers to end the year. I think we started the year at like I don't know, 1,100 or something like that. So for me, I know it's not as fast as a lot of Mr. Beast or someone grows, but for me, it's I'm just appreciative for everyone tuning in and bringing the good positive vibes that we bring together. So thank you, Jason. I appreciate that. The booster, thanks. I'm glad I discovered this channel. I appreciate it, folks. And here's my promise to you guys for 2022. I will be more consistent in posting. It's funny that I say that because I average around 3.5 to 4 videos a week, but I'll be more consistent in posting in 2022. This is my New Year's resolutions that I'm throwing up to you guys on the spot. More consistent in posting. So that means daily uploads. I'm going to have more of a consistent schedule. So Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific, power hour stream. Rain or shine is kind of what I'm going for every single Friday. We might do more streams during the week like we have, especially during the holiday seasons. But Friday, 12 p.m., I'm going to put in my banner. I'm going to advertise it because I think that's what I got to stand for something. Some Fridays I've missed, to be quite honest, and I don't need to. Thanks for subscribing, folks. And more videos. So I want to do, and how about this? I'll post it when I get more of an update. But Friday, 12 p.m., rain or shine is what I want to stick with. And Era says more technical analysis. Any feedback that you have with videos, with ideas that I need to put out, please shoot me a DM on Twitter or leave a comment actually down below, or shoot me a DM on Discord if you're part of the Juju gang. I always take feedback. I love getting feedback because it helps make the channel better, right? Das says smile on your thumbnails. Helps people click it. Das, thank you for the feedback. I need to up my thumbnail game. I hate taking photos of myself. So yes, I'll definitely do that. Mel says pump the Tom Nash appearance. Yes, I will probably post about that this weekend. I have to get my ducks in a row for that. So that'll be on Tuesday. Tom Nash is coming on Tuesday. You just check my calendar to make sure that that's the case. Thank you, folks. I appreciate the Juju gang tuning in. Yes, the Discord is awesome. I get a lot of value out of it. Hopefully you guys do too on the Discord. it's just if you're looking for an area where you can bounce news off of, figure out what news is coming, how to interpret what might be happening, get ideas. The Juju Gang is awesome for that. You guys are what makes the Juju Gang awesome, really, quite honestly. That sounds cheesy, I know, but it's quite true. Tom Nash is coming on Tuesday, January 4th at 12:30. I will be posting about that on Twitter. If you haven't, follow me on Twitter as well if you want. It's at Hey It's Yashu, link in the description. Or it says consistency is key, stand for something indeed. Absolutely, yeah. And I've been inconsistently consistent. I mean, I average like how, let me just okay, let's do a hot guess. Let's do a quick guess. Throw in the chat how many videos do you think I've posted this year on the channel? What's your guess? Don't count. Someone don't count. Oh, I have the number here. Let me know. Lewis says a lot. I think you win. Vincent says 600. Oh my god. Dan says 4. Ooh, Timothy says 250, 48, 182. Okay. I'm gonna wait before I say this before the answers. Andy says 60. Okay. Ooh, 129 too. No one's hit it yet, but Timothy, you're pretty close. Um, on my channel, I have 270. Oh, Hillary's close. 279 videos to date. Granted, I think like 5 of those were in 2020. So, maybe 10 of those. So let's say 269 for the kicks of it. 269 videos. That's way more than I ever thought I'd ever be posting, to be quite honest. So I'm proud of that, but I need to up my quality. I need to up my consistency. And I hope you guys hold me to it. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate that. Yeah, still a lot. Absolutely. I mean, it's not daily, right? Not 365. But yeah. Yeah, Alan says, damn. That's what I thought when I saw that number. I was like 279. And mind you, these are I've some of them I've unlisted because in the early days of the video of the channel, I was like, yeah, I had no idea what was happening, to be quite honest. I appreciate it. Yes, and consistency is key. Quality is more important as well, more than consistency, because that's why you guys hopefully come back. So much love to you guys. If you haven't hit that like or that subscribe, if you're watching this and you see that button that says subscribe while you're watching this video, consider pressing it so it doesn't say it. And thanks for joining the Juju Gang, folks. And much love and best of health, best of success in 2022. I'll join you guys on the weekend for a reaction video to start off the new year hot. Awesome. Thank you, folks. Appreciate it. Don't box myself in. Strap yourself consistent. You guys are awesome. Much love to you guys. All right. Take care. I'll catch you in the next one. Catch you on Twitter. Catch you on Discord if you're part of the Juju Gang. And this weekend, if you're not, hit subscribe. I'll be posting out a reaction video this weekend. So take care. Much love. Thanks to all the mods as well. Shout out to you guys. Sanju, Marco, Manuel, Tyler. Cheers. Peace. Thanks, guys. Have a healthy, be safe this New Year's Eve. I should add that in as well. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Take care. Peace.